Yeah, man. Everything you put in your body helps the MK Ultra. So once you get chemically induced, alcohol, some marijuana, the GMO ones, Molly, cocaine, LSD, shrooms, whatever that can alter. When I mean alter, I don't mean that as a bad way, but psychoactivate your mind. They know that they can use that psychoactive against you. So think about it. Anytime y'all watch a movie, you sipping a little wine, probably have a little shot or something, you rolling up your little blunt or whatever the case may be, and you did. You might fix you some water. You might fix you some food. You know what I'm saying? You might fix something to watch this movie. But if you ever notice, every time you watching TV, you're eating something. It goes hand in hand. Every time you're eating, every time you watching something on TV, you're eating something. It don't even matter if it's a snack. You're eating it. You know what I'm saying? So 2 plus 2 is 4. You can't watch TV unless you eat something or drink something. So the chemical induced, and then you cut on the tool, the television programming, and now your mind is open to get programmed. Now your mind is open to get programmed. Now I'm gonna pull it up because I want to touch on what he talking about. Y'all hang in there, sit tight, don't go nowhere. Cause Henry Ford, he's telling you some real shit, and a lot of citizens don't know that they have this power. A lot of them do know, and they scared. So hold on, I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm about to pull it up. 1 second. Let me get my steering wheel right real quick. All right, there we go. Let me pull it up. It's literally in your constitution, and it says from word that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. Because of this constitution, the reason why you was overthrown in 1898 is because of this right here. All it takes is for a certain group of people to not agree with what these folks doing. And in doing so, you can alter the timelines, or you can just abolish it. Okay? Who was in the government first? We was. Who ran everything first? We did. Now, they overthrew us using the Constitution. Because what? They felt like, because any form of government, which was us, they felt like we became destructive. All right? Now they're being destructive, okay? It is the right of the people to alter and abolish it. Whether us or them. People, citizens, us, okay? So now, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. You have every right to say fuck this shit, man. Excuse me. This why they threw in the peaceful of assembly. Please protest. Please be peaceful. Please turn the other cheek and be docile. We don't want you guys to overthrow us and abolish us and alter nothing, even though we're fucked up and we're fucking up everything. Please be peaceful, and we will see that your complaints will be heard. This is a corporation. Don't they sound like the people that be on the phone? Oh, I'm sorry that you went through that. I will pass this on to the people in the front office, and we will give you a call back. And they never give you a call back, right? Okay, it's a corporation. It's the same thing. And that's why they tell you, peaceful protest, please. Because they know all it takes is for a collective to actually read the Constitution and understand it, understand it, and overstand it. And if you want to play the Matrix, play the game, then you have every right to do what you got to do, right? All right. So now, what Henry Ford said. Henry Ford said what? Repetition is the father of learning. Well, did Henry Ford say that people deserve the government they get? If the people do nothing to turn that government out of office, such is that the right of American people under their Constitution, then they deserve to have liars and deceivers running their nation and their lives. On the other hand, the American people may well be going through the one of the three phases of what Dr. Fred Emery, at one time the senior psychiatrist of Tavistock, once described as social environmental turbulence. According to Emery, large population groups manifest the following symptoms when subjected to conditions of violent social changes, stress, and turbulence, which can be divided into well-defined categories. Superficiality is the condition that manifests itself when the threatened population group reacts by adopting shallow sloganeering, which they attempt to pass off as ideas. Superficial people. All right, let me catch up in the comments. What's happening, Kimmy? What's happening, Tina? Shannon, what's good? What's good? What's happening, Evergreen? Wayne, what's up? What's up? Teacher will be back after these dank messages. It's time to make our move. What's happening, D? Shout out to all the new people who hit that follow button. I appreciate y'all. Also, check out Signs for the Conscious Mind, my YouTube. I'm going to post it up before we dip out of here. And make it illegal to live. Just saying, yup. I'm saying that, Shelly. Air. How do you vote? I don't vote. I don't vote. That's step one. That's step one to overthrowing everything. You got to stop participating for one. You got to stop participating. Nothing's going to happen to you. No, nothing's going to happen to you. I promise you. If you don't vote, bro, nothing's going to happen to you. All right, you back. Let me step out the car. Get in the shade real quick. it's one big ass fear mongering game. They scared of the government scared of you. Everybody living in fear. Everybody living in fear. Even the people who's doing the fear mongering, they scared of shit too. That's the only reason why they doing it. They scared of the motherfucker. That's why they put a whole lot of this stuff in position. When they overthrew the government, they started creating laws to kind of protect them in their position. This is where you get the second constitution from that a lot of people don't know, that was written in the 1800s. I think 1870 or something like that. These folks been working on this shit a long time. Well, what you crowing for, bro? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, nigga. But anyways, so thank you, the Fed, nigga. You ain't start crying until I walk back here on live. You the police, man. I'm from Rooster, the police. But they started after they overthrew everything using the Constitution. They started creating laws to put in play. You know, this when they start telling you. This when they start telling you to be peaceful when you protest. This when they start telling you to be peaceful when you protest. This when they start. This when they strip you from your voting rights and your right to hold office, and they started you from ground zero. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people this shit is fairly new. It's like not new like yesterday, but I'm talking about like your grandmama, her mama, that damn recent. You feel me? It ain't even been that long for real. You know what I'm saying? 2 grandmamas ago, these folk. So, and then the police started as slave catchers and shit like that. But this when they start making the police force. You know what I'm saying? This when they start making the police force and all this type of stuff. Start making U.S. Marshals, start making the sheriff, start making regular police, start making, you know what I'm saying, the feds start getting bigger, the CIA start getting bigger, you know, all that type of stuff start getting bigger and start expanding. Because the same white supremacy people who overthrew the initial government, they now y'all heard the saying, they took the sheets off and put the badges and shit on. That's exactly what they did, for real. You know, this is why the Klan can hold rallies and don't shit happen to them. But as soon as you get out here in these streets, they be trying to beat the shit out you. But the Klan can go up and down these streets and don't shit happen to them. Police be like, yeah, come on in, you know, because some of those police is, some of them police is with them folk, you know what I'm saying? But he just had to clock in to work. If he didn't have to clock in to work, he'd be right there inside the rally, sheeted up and everything like that too, talking about, yeah, all that crazy shit. But this is why them folks can do what they kind of do. This is why these folks, the Klan is recognized as an organization and not a gang. And this is why I keep telling our gangs to get incorporated. It sounds funny, but turn blood into a corporation, nigga. Turn Crip into a corporation, nigga. Turn GD into a corporation. Turn Vice Lord. Turn all this stuff into a corporation, nigga. Get an LLC, get it copyrighted, and we'll turn this bitch into an organization. So you can stop becoming a gang. So therefore, when you become an organization, you go by the laws and the rules and everything that organizations can do. Then you will be just like the Klan, nigga. That's why the Klan can do what they do. Nigga, the Klan got fucking license plate that go on the back of their cars. When y'all see these cars that say Fraternal Order of the Police and shit, those are organizations. You feel me? Those are organizations. Some of them are biker gangs. Some of them are Masons, low level. Some of them are sorority fraternities. Some of them are Klan. And some of them is the White League Justice and all these type of... This shit's still around, bro. This shit's still around. Just because you don't hear the names no more, that don't mean that they dead. Y'all know the term. Out of sight, out of mind. You feel me? They only got y'all focused on Klan, but there's hundreds of white supremacy organizations. Why you just focusing on the Klan? No different than people focusing on Esau. Not even knowing that your fat ass back here doing a whole lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know. And if we're gonna play the game to win, then you gotta understand the new game software. Because they done already overthrew the old software program. That was the whole point of Reconstruction era. You know what I'm saying? They reconstructed everything and they reclassified everything and everyone. You know, they drew all these imaginary lines everywhere. Like, this is Canada and all that old crazy. Yeah, okay? Excuse me. Because these people are those people overseas. That's why Henry Ford felt comfortable saying their United States Constitution, because he's not from here. You know how many undocumented folks came over here and was writing pseudo history and science? A lot of them. A lot of these people that you think are American and shit, they not. Henry Ford, all these people, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, J.P. Morgans, you know what I'm saying, Melville Herskovitz, all these people are related in some form or fashion. They all know each other in some form or fashion. And they all not from here. They all are overseas. You know what I'm saying? Great Britain is still here. And it's a lot of British people still here, walking amongst you. You don't know it because they got the English accent so down pat. Because, look, man, and that's why I say English accent and not English words. The accent they got down pat. Like Idris Elba. You know what I'm saying? Like Idris Elba. That nigga could talk to you like he one of the homeboys in the hood, right? Alright. But as soon as he get on one of these interviews in front of these people, his whole his real native tongue starts to come out. And it's like that. That's why I tell you, y'all don't know what these people do behind closed doors. You think you clocking in with an American at your job, and as soon as you clocking out and he going home behind his closed doors, he's like, "Honey, can you pass me? Can we get some crumpet and tea? And are you fixing those English muffins that we like? Oh yes, honey. We'll do all that type of crazy shit going on behind closed doors, and you don't know it. Some people you clocking in with some people thinking they regular ass human beings. They clocking out. They going home and they getting plugged in because a lot of folks is robotics and clones and shit. We talking about Mach 5 synthetic clone niggas that be looking real and shit. They be going and getting plugged the fuck in. You don't know who you around. That's why you gotta be careful of who you encounter, who you talk to, and let your soul guide you. Your soul knows who's soulless, and your soul knows who got a soul. You feel me? Pay attention to your gut. Your gut is a brain. That means you have intuition in your stomach. That's why you get a gut feeling. You got intuition in your heart. It has 40,000 neurons like your brain. All of these things are brains because they all connected. All of these are brains. There's neurons up here, there's neurons in here, and there's neurons in here. Your intestines look like your brain. Your brain look like your intestines. Your heart is in the middle because this is the bridge between the heart and the gut. And a lot of people who's unbalanced, your mind be fighting your gut all the time. People who's unbalanced, your mind and heart be at war with each other all the time. But once you become in line and in balance, everything is in sync. Your gut feeling will match your heart feeling, and your heart feeling will match your mind. You go to a place, you be like, nah, bro, something don't feel right. I got a gut feeling. And then your heart get to pumping fast. That's that anxiety. That's that shit that's letting you know, do, bro, something ain't right. Do. And then your brain connects all that shit, bro. Get the fuck up out of here. Something about to happen. And as soon as you leave, something happen, right? Pay attention to your intuition, but you must be balanced for your intuition to work well. If you full of pollution and toxins and shit like that, and you off balance, your intuition gonna be off balance, and you're gonna be wrong every time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. You feel me? These folks are the people who've been studying you. These people who study human relations, shaping the moral, spiritual, cultural, political, and economic decline of the United States of America. That covers all subjects. Your moral. 2022, people don't have morals no more. People don't have morals no more. And it's funny that people don't have morals because you take a person off, you take people offline and you try to get them to do something. They won't do it. But as soon as they get on this social engineering media platform, they're a whole different person. And it ain't even just on here. Some people just ain't got morals out here in the real world either. You know what I'm saying? People be talking about loyalty, trust, truth, and all that type of shit. They be the main ones fucking over people. See, a narcissist want you to trust them fully. A narcissist want you to believe in them fully. A narcissist want you to give everything that they want you to give your all, and they don't give shit because they don't give a fuck. The morals not there, the character, the respect ain't there no more. It's there in some people, but it's getting smaller and smaller. They controlling the moral. You know what I'm saying? Cut on the TV, ain't no morals on that bitch. Cut on the music, ain't no morals on that bitch. Go look on the media, ain't no morals on that motherfucker. Get on social media, ain't no morals on that motherfucker. And you know this because majority of the people who be like, I don't let my mother and my family follow me because they just be all up in your business. For one, you are on a social media platform. Everything is public and everybody is in your business. The reason why you don't want your mother following you or your father or people in your family following you is because you know you was raised better than that. And you felt like you became an adult and you ain't got to have no type of structure, no nothing no more. You just out here. You feel me? And you can hear people have this, I'm going to do what I want to do mindset. And people that have that, I'm going to do what I want to do mindset, they hate restrictions and they hate structure. Yes. Because with restrictions comes structure. With structure comes restrictions. You can't do what you want to do and expect to have structure. It don't work like that. A lot of relationships fail like that because people don't want the structure in a relationship because it comes with restrictions. Example, and I'm gonna give both because I don't do gender battles. I do both here. Example, a man see his woman wearing provocative clothes. He be like, baby, can you change your clothes for me because we about to go out in public? I don't want all these dudes, you know what I'm saying, people looking at you because your body is for me to look at. That's the whole point of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you feel me? You just so insecure. If you can't handle a bad beat, you don't need to be with one. I'ma wear what I want. I'ma talk how I want. I'ma do what I want. Then why the fuck are you in a relationship if that's your mindset? You wasting people time because that's not how I go. And if you can't change your outfit because it's provocative, then fellas, if you got a woman who won't change her clothes because it's provocative, step outside in your boxes and let your, you know what I'm saying? And watch how she get, oh my God, I can't believe her. The double standard start kicking in, okay? And it's the same thing with the men. Women will come to a man, hey baby, baby, you think you can tighten up your act a little bit? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to change you or whatever, but can you like chill less with the homeboys because they be into a lot of shit, and I don't have a good feeling. I don't have a good feeling about your friends. You know what I'm saying? Girl, what you talking about, man? Me and the homeboy, we ain't doing nothing. We just be chilling, dog. Here you go, wanna nag a nigga all the time. Wanna change me. You wanna change a nigga and all that. I'ma be me. If you can't handle me at my lowest, you can't handle me at all that old stupid shit. Structure and restrictions. Without structure and restrictions, you will lack moral. And without the morality of shit, you will spiritually die. And when you spiritually die, your culture dies. And when you're culturally dead, these folks can fuck with you politically how they want to. And when they got you out, these are steps of brainwashing. I'm hoping y'all catching on. And once they get you with the political, they can hit you with the economic decline, which is the decline of the population. It's the reason why 52% of American adults is illiterate, because it's by design. We're not saying this shit being facetious and making a joke of people. We saying this shit because they did this by design. A lot of this shit is by design. It's called behavior modifications, and people don't believe in behavior modifications. That's because they so far gone into the sleep realm. You know what I'm saying? And I get this every day. People, I mean, you guys are just conspiracy theories. These folks ain't trying to control and modify. Yes, the fuck they are. There's 1 billion people on the face of this earth. Everybody want to wear Gucci. Everybody want to wear J's. Everybody's listening to rap. All these rappers sound the same. Everybody using the same lingo. Everybody eat the same food. Everybody don't like the same food. Everybody's watching the same movies, TV shows. Everybody's doing the same shit. But it's a billion people on earth with a billion different personalities, with a billion different souls, and a billion individuals. You're being socially engineered and behavior modified. You're being controlled. Because you are a resource. Economics is the study of the control of resources. You are the major resource. Without you, the matrix don't run. You feel me? So, I never approve of boycotting clothes brands. That was the dumbest shit that people ever did. Just boycott Gucci. For what? Gucci owns hella other name brand shit that you buy. Gucci probably owns that bottle of water that you just bought from the store. Gucci owns a lot. Y'all gotta think it's 1% with over 1 trillion names and brands out here in the world. You didn't hit them in the pocket. Oh my God, yes, we hit them in the pockets. They lost $1 million. But they gained $1 billion though. You're not hitting them where it hurt. If you want to hit them when they hurt, if you want to boycott some shit, stop participating. Everybody should wake up and say, fuck that job. Everybody should wake up and say, fuck paying that rent. Y'all gotta forcefully move all of us. How about that? Everybody should wake up and say, fuck paying taxes. Everybody should wake up and say, fuck voting. Everybody should say, fuck all this shit. And move to the outskirts and learn how to farm again. Live off grid. You can do that shit. Or you ain't even gotta go no fucking where. Just say fuck these people. Cause it ain't even enough jails to throw your ass in. You feel me? Them bitches already overpacked. They letting people off on house arrest bracelets cause the bitch packed. Boy, this the time right here. Ain't nobody going to jail. And then once you see that movement, a lot of people who's playing on their side will start waking up too. Such as melanated police officers, which I still never understood. How could you be a melanated person and sign up to be a police officer? That don't make sense. That don't make sense. That's like me getting my ass whooped. That's like me being a blood, getting my ass whooped by a Crip, and then tomorrow I join the Crips. Like, nigga, get the fuck out. That don't make sense, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The reason why this shit going on is because you're participating. Simple as that. Why you think in school they beg for your participation? You get graded on your participation. Your participation level is an F. Nigga, what? How the fuck I fail because I don't feel like raising my motherfucking hand and saying something, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Participation grade. That's why they beat that in your head. Participate. We all the same. Put us in the box. We're all normal. This is what everybody's supposed to do. This is just how the world is. No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Hit them where it hurt. Stand up and get that chessboard off your back. 1% is controlling 99%. The day the 99% pull up to the 1% house. You know what I'm saying? The day the 99% pull up to the 1% house. I'm just saying though. Stop participating. You ain't hitting them people where it hurt because you boycotting one of their brands. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever looked at a pack of cigarettes? Next time, go look at a pack of cigarettes. Go pick up a Marlboro. The Marlboro has a coat of arms on it. That's a family crest on side Marlboros, Newports. All these cigarettes have family crests. And if you look at the family crests very close, they the same family crest. That means the same people who brought you Marlboro full flavor is the same people who brought you Newport. The same people who brought you Salem Ultralights is the same people who brought you Cools. The same people who brought you Dasani water is the same people who brought you Aquafina. Body Armor. Come on, man. Peep game. 1%. Feel me? It's like that. These hidden hand. But the most hidden hand out of all these people is we know that some of these folks are white passing. Oh shit. Hidden hand. It's a lot of melanated people. All skin folk ain't your kin folk. It's melanated people in here. Yeah. Let me catch in. I mean, how do we vote for you? Ah, man, look, I appreciate that. I appreciate that for real, for real. But I don't want y'all vote. I just want y'all support. Y'all see me in these streets stomping hard, y'all join in. That's it. Y'all ever see me inside y'all streets stomping hard? Bring your ass outside and stomp with me. I don't want no vote. Voting is just participation. You participating with me right now, I got your vote. You feel me? We don't need that system. We don't need that mate. We don't need shit from them. They need everything from us though. You know what I'm saying? We don't need nothing from them. So I take your vote like that. Just march with your boy, self-educate, research, and apply the knowledge that you're researching. Teach the kids the knowledge that you're researching. And then, you playing your part. And that's it. That's the greatest vote in the world. You know what I'm saying? And support the platforms, Signs for the Conscious Mind, support the TikTok pages, get the message out there. I'm trying to work on some shit where a lot of us can actually have a meet and greet, and we all can just meet folks, you know what I'm saying, and really, and start formulating stuff, because you can't really do it, you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, plans and stuff, but these platforms is not the place for that. So I'd rather meet folks face to face and we get to talking and really get stuff going, you know what I'm saying. So yeah. What's up, baby? Balloon.
Did you know Jeffrey Dahmer had a brother named David, right? How about the man? I guess when he found out what his brother was doing, he changed his identity.
I wouldn't believe. I would too.
There you go. Gotta be on the video.
Say hey. Say hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I beat that up.
See, make sure your kids is in, you know what I'm saying? Teach them. Keep mine with me every time I'm dropping gems.
You're my slinky.
That's your slinky?
Put it on you.
I know you put the slinky on my head.
Oh.
Come on, Isis. The show on Netflix. Yeah, D. My mom in there watching Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm about to go in there and check it out with her here in a minute. Said, can you show that black people are behind the hand? Physically showing it. You can physically show it in a way. All you gotta do is just pay attention. Cause they show themselves all the time. Cause like I said, not all skin folk is your kinfolk. A lot of Moors is the hidden hand. Not all of them. Cause there's some good ones out there. But just Moors, a lot of Moors are the hidden hand, specifically the ones that was in Germany. Because the ones in Germany encountered these people first when they touched down. You don't need no hand sanitizer. You don't need no hand sanitizer. You ain't even touch nothing. Put it back. I admire your cleanliness, though. No, we're not lighting nothing on fire. No firebug.
I want to get your cup. Get my phone with it. Get my phone with it.
It's not charged. You out of gas on your 4-wheeler. You gotta tell grandma to put some gas in it. You gotta go tell her. Don't tell me, tell your grandma. So they encountered these people when they first came out. And they the ones that taught them everything they knew. Not all skin folk is your kinfolk. Not everybody is an African. Not everybody is an indigenous American. You know what I'm saying? Not all Caucasians are white. Caucasians is a landmass. No different than Georgia or the Colorados and shit like that. Like, Caucasians is a landmass. And there's melanated people that are Caucasians that look like regular old black folk. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of India people who are Caucasians. India people are Caucasians. Kamala Harris, everybody thought that they had a person of color, but deep down in the roots and genetics, Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? So when you look up the definition of free whites, when you get a chance, go to the Black's Law Dictionary and look up free whites. That would tell you everything you need to know from right there about the hidden hint. I see you. I see you. Peekaboo. I see you. I tell grandma wipe your nose. You gotta wipe your nose. Back up. There you go. There you go. I'll be in there in a minute. Yep, be in there in a minute. That's how I got your 6 always. I appreciate it. And then look up black nobility. Black nobility, that's the major gem right there. No, when you get a chance, I'll give you the chance. Look up black nobility. Are you able to show black people part of that? Most definitely. I can show you black people part of that. There's no such thing as black people. We got to get that out of our mind. Saying that is the reason why we emotionally are tied to every single melanated person on the face of this earth, and we can't believe that melanated people would do this. Y'all better stop that, nigga. It's melanated people who be fucking on for every fucking day. You did? But we gotta stop saying black people, because you're generalizing yourself with them. We are totally different. Now everybody the same, but I can most definitely show and prove that black nobility is a huge stone that you can check into. Here we go. The master himself. Go on, bring him in here. Go ahead and drop it for the people about that free white man.
Hey, you know I heard you say it. As soon as I heard you say it, I said, "Oh shit!" You know what the fuck I'm about to do.
Yeah, because a lot of these black nobilities is hiding under that label.
They masquerading themselves under it in order to save face for what was done in the past. So let's deal with free white persons, okay? Now, reading, if you get an opportunity, people, to get you a Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition, or 5th, or anything from 4th up until, I want to say the 11th edition has it in there. I'm not sure. I don't have the 11th. But if you start with Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition, and you read the definition of free white person, after you read that definition, it's going to be a little bit confusing, but it's going to force you to kind of go back. So the way you want to start this gravy train and figure out what Los is talking about, you want to start with reading the word color or colored in Black's Law Dictionary 4th edition. And when you start with the word colored, it'll tell you that colored means a semblance, a simulacrum, as distinguished from that which is real. And then there's a little bottom excerpt that references anyone that has the presence of Negro blood or has consideration for what we call African descent, right? So you start there, and you realize that the people that are calling themselves people of color or colored persons or colored, etc., all of those people are proclaiming to the U.S. government, the ones who got jurisdiction over them, they're proclaiming to them that they are fake. They're proclaiming to them that they're not even real as a matter of law. So what that then forces you to do is to go to the word African descent in law. And when you read the word African descent talks about the Naturalization Act of 1870 and the consideration for the word, and it's referencing an intermixture of peoples, constituting them as free white persons. And that's in reference to being, quote unquote, Negroes, Indians, what was it? Negroes, Indians, and I forget the other one that's added to it. And it represents free white persons. Now the question you then got to ask yourself is, why would someone of African descent, whom we can automatically assume are dark skinned and melanated, have consideration to being a quote unquote free white person? And what you have to realize is, we are the ones that are looking at this shit wrong. We are the ones that have been looking at this idea of white and black as a matter of skin color. And we know at some point in time, I called myself black, and I'm sure Los here has called himself black and referenced himself as that. But when I look at that man, I see his locks and his hair is black. I see his eyebrows is black. Hell, I can even see the surrounding of his eyeballs. Those are black. But you realize then immediately that black has nothing to do with the color of your skin at all. And it has everything to do with your status at law. And in order to confirm that, you then cross-reference the U.S. Census. So I want everybody to write this down. Go to the U.S. Census, type in on Google, topics about race, U.S. Census. And I want you to read the 5 quote-unquote racial categories, and you will see that this idea of white is a matter of people having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. And if that's not enough to show you that there was indeed a put themselves out via some sort of melanated hate amongst their own brothers, that should be enough. That should be enough. And then when you go to the word free white person and you analyze free white person, you will see that the Moorish people whom conquered Spain and Portugal in the 1400s, those were the people, or excuse me, not the 1400s, from 711 AD, whose reign lasted until 1492, just before Columbus sailed the ocean blue. You will realize that those people are also considered free white persons. And if you keep going on, it will also tell you who aren't free white persons. And those people are Caucasians.
I was just about to say that, Victor.
Right. White people are in reference to being from Europe, according to the U.S. Census, right? The U.S. Census says anyone who's have origins with any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. So when you review that, you tell me where the Caucasus Mountains are. You tell me where the Caucasians are. Those people are from Asia, not Europe. So you clarify a lot. You dig what I'm saying? You clarify a lot when you read law. And the law will help you see that you've been stuck inside the crayon box paradigm. You've been calling yourself black because Haitian Los' shirt is black. His skin ain't black.
And then with all that information, then it makes sense when you fast forward to 2022, how Biden is letting all these immigrants come in They getting all these new neighborhoods being built for them, money, all this type of stuff. And remind y'all, these folks don't have no social security number now. So how is that even possible? But
Hey,
they
bro,
tell you
let
to
me
pull
tell
yourself
you
up
what
by
happened
your
to
own
me.
bootstrap.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they tell you, right? Check this out, right? So I was in Fort Lee, Virginia last year, right? In Fort Lee,
Mm,
Virginia, there's I forget the name of the hotel, but it's the biggest military installation hotel in the country, right? So I was there for a little course that I had to take, and this is right around the time that they was pulling all of the people out of Afghanistan, right?
mm,
Pulling the U.S. military out of Afghanistan, and at the same time, they was pulling a lot of the Afghani interpreters that were helping the U.S. military over the last 15, 20 years. They were pulling them and all of their families out as well. They made all of the personnel that were staying in that hotel move out. Every last person that was staying in that hotel, when they started bringing back U.S. troops as well as Afghan Turks, they made all of those people move out, and they filled that entire hotel up with all people from Afghanistan that were
mm.
interpreters. No visas, no U.S. passports, no I-55 green cards, no none of that. President Biden just moved them all in. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
question that you have to ask yourself is, as a matter of law, how was that possible? And you realize that the president, even though Fort Lee is in Virginia, in quote unquote, the state of Virginia or Virginia proper, the president has complete autonomy and jurisdiction over military bases. But he does not have jurisdiction over what? The several states. So he was able to do
Exactly.
whatever the fuck he wanted. And couldn't
Mm-hmm.
nobody, not only were they filled up in Fort Lee, but they were also filled up in Fort Hood, Texas. They were also filled up in Fort Dix, New Jersey, which I'm not too far from there, right? They
Mm-hmm.
filled up as many as they can, built whole compounds for them to stay in, but they wouldn't let them come off base because of jurisdiction. And as soon as that cleared up, all of these people then immediately integrated into the country, no issue. So you got to ask yourself, the one thing that these people have, that I keep talking about this shit every fucking day. These people come from a nation. Our people have been complaining about how we're treated at law, and out of some kind of magic, the U.S. government gives all kind of subsidies and all kinds of protections to people from Afghanistan and allows them to come on these lands and operate in commerce on these lands right away. But the so-called black people have been dealing with this same exact issue since 1860 fucking 5. What is your nationality so that you can at least be treated like a human? Not even to establish the fact that now we got to start dealing with whether you've got treaties with the U.S., with the United States of America, but we at least want to get you on a point to where you can start being treated as a fucking human. But our people have been so blinded by fighting for civil rights, the Civil Rights Act of 1866, right? The Civil Rights Act that later came in the mid 1900s. We have been so focused on civil rights, just being civil, not realizing that that's the shit that they give to citizens. They don't deal with civil rights with nationals. They deal with human rights when it comes to nationals,
And
right?
this is why Malcolm X, when he came back, he went from civil
Oh,
rights activist to human rights activist, and his whole name
immediately.
changed to a Moorish name. He became El Shabazz Bey. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
El Haj Malik El Shabazz. Yep, El Haj Malik El
Yep.
Shabazz. That's exact.
Yep.
And as soon as look, and then you can go down the list. You can go down the list of our famous so-called black revolutionaries, so-called black abolitionists. You go down the list, and all of the ones that started migrating their message from civil rights to human rights, they all were either killed, deported, or socio-economically castrated. You start
Yep.
Noble Jew Ali, he was killed. You go to Marcus Garvey, he was deported back to Jamaica. You go to Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad was socioeconomically castrated, but he still kept the black narrative. You go to his predecessor, Arthur Little, also known as Malcolm X, also known as from coming back from his pilgrimage to Mecca, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. As soon as he came back, they killed him. Who was his predecessor? His predecessor is Louis Farrakhan. What happened to Louis Farrakhan? Although he's still out in the streets, moving out and about, he's socioeconomically castrated right now. He can't even get a fucking social media page up and running. The stuff that you see from Louis Farrakhan is all shit that's been being pushed out of all his speeches from 7 years ago. What happened to Khalid Muhammad? Soon as Khalid Muhammad said, "I know I'm a Moor, I'm undoubtedly a Moor, and can't nobody tell me I'm a Moor," what happened to him? They killed his ass.
And then I want to tell people this too. When you get a chance, pull up Tupac's Malcolm X speech. He did a speech in Atlanta, Georgia. It was for the anniversary of Malcolm X. And Khalid Muhammad, the dude you said, he was right there front row. Yep, he was there front row. And that lets you know the type of knowledge that Tupac really knew, you know what I'm saying? And on top of his mother being a Black Panther, and like they all knew this type of stuff, you know. And then what else? And then peep game with Malcolm X. When he went to Mecca and he came back, that's when he was like, "Y'all, we are Aborigines, nigga." Like, folks in Mecca know who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? So they told him who he was. He came back to us like, "Nigga, bro, Plymouth Rock landed on us, nigga. We Aborigines." You know what I'm saying? Like, what? The Moroccan Empire is what they taught him over there. And then he realized that it's deeper than skin, because he was like, I found folks who's Moors and Moroccos who's lighter than me, and then he started learning about bloodlines and all that type of stuff, and this is why they pushed the colorism so hard. And you know what I'm saying? These folks knew what they was doing. I ain't got the book back up, but the Travis Stock Institute, yeah, they knew.
So I've done a few times. I think I'm probably gonna do one later tomorrow. I've done a comprehensive review of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech, and a lot of people don't realize that it was after that speech that they put the target on Martin Luther King's back. Yeah. Because Martin Luther King was dropping gems about law and nationality in the first 2 paragraphs of that speech. And then as soon as he started talking about promissory notes, and as soon as he's talking about heirs, right away they put a lot of people. You can see what I think that is, when you get an opportunity, watch the speech live if you can. Watch the speech live, and as he's talking, they're kind of panning around and showing all of the people. And you can see that the people that are in attendance have no clue what he was talking about. But he carefully transitioned into dealing with nationality and dealing with the blackness in order to keep the people engaged in the speech. And he almost seamlessly weaves in and out of the narrative. And he did it just enough to extend his life for another 4 years. You feel what I'm saying? He did it just... He did it. I thought you just fell, bro. What happened?
I dropped my phone.
It was like you fell. I said, "Goddamn."
I'm outside the bed chilling.
He did it just enough to extend his life a few more years, right? So go back when you get an opportunity, listen to that speech, and if you gotta pause it, and if you gotta pull up the transcript to that speech up in a PDF and read what that motherfucker's talking about, and where he's getting into, and how he's trying to like slowly wake people up, and then you see a few years later, he talks about, "Man, I fucked up. I should have went about it this way. I think I might have sold my people out by accident." That type shit. Around the same exact time that Malcolm comes back from his pilgrimage, it's almost like seamlessly. It's almost seamless. You'll see that all of these conferences are happening, and then right away you have him die, Malcolm die, and then the rise of the Black Panthers. And then once you get the rise of the Black Panthers, which came from, after the fall of the Black Panthers, which came from a group of Moors that we like to call the Vice Lords and the GDs. They all
Yep.
eventually died off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they carry what? They carry that 5-pointed star, that 6-pointed star, both of those Solomon seals, Moorish emblems. You
Mm-hmm.
start to see the connection of all of the people that started to die from the Black Panther Party, from the Black Panther movement. As soon as they left from talking about civil rights and managed to start talking about human rights, they offed them too. And the only one that they left alive was Huey P. Newton. They left Huey P. Newton alive, and then they tried to frame him and tell the world that he was a drug addict when they eventually killed his ass in 1986 or 1987, right?
Yep.
But they said that he died of a drug overdose. They killed him too because he was the last, big portion in Oakland of those Black Panthers that were
Mm-hmm.
moving and shaking. But there was no
I,
infrastructure.
yep. And then with Huey P. Newton, I really believe that them folks forced them drugs into his system, cause you know how they do. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. Because
But this
when
is
he
the
was
thing.
in
I
jail,
don't even.
because when he was in jail, he used to talk about how the guards and stuff used to treat him and all that kind of shit. So I'm like, man, that would be the place to get somebody, because we already know how smooth these folks is with the needle. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
all it
And
just
now I
take.
want you to look up another. There's another brother I want y'all to look up who's been locked up since the 80s by the name of Mumia Abdul Jamar.
I never
Mumia
heard of him.
Abdul Jamar. Mumia Abdul Jamar is this dude that he ran at a young age. He ran a newsletter in Philadelphia. And that
Mm,
newsletter ended up getting him on the radio stations in Philadelphia, talk radio stations. And he was moving and shaking and talking about civil rights, and he was a big, quote unquote black abolitionist, if you will.
mm,
The moment he started talking about nationality, Free Mumia, yep. The moment he started talking about nationality, they framed him and said that he killed a cop. And they came to his house and arrested him, right? They pulled him out of his house, arrested him. They said that some white people said that it was Mumia Abdul Jamar that did it, right?
mm,
He's been locked up since then. Anybody that ever comes out and gets to a national scale of pushing out information, factual
mm,
information, they all get. I told you, it's three things. You either get deported, socioeconomically castrated, or killed. One of the three. Now, the
COINTELPRO.
reason that this hasn't been the reason that this hasn't been happening to the people here on TikTok for the most part is because one, we're protected through media waves, right? Ain't nobody
Mm,
kicking down your door. But two, we are in the age of information, and with that age of information, Denzel Washington says we also at the age of too much information, and it's hard
yep.
for a lot of the people to decipher who's real, who's fake, who's phony.
Yep.
She's fake. That's the type of people I
Because he
hate.
said because he said inside this age of information, too much information is it's not even about being right no more. It's about being first, and you see that a
About being
lot.
first.
Like I've seen, like as soon as the media would say something, I see people post that shit real quick on TikTok without even digging real quick. I'm like, hold on, bro, don't just dig into this, because that might not just be that right there. You know what I'm saying? It might be something else and stuff like that. And folks turn it into a competition, and that's why I'm like, man, people got to be careful of those on this platform who try to make into a competition. You got some brothers on here who use knowledge and wisdom just to gain women, and like if you sit down and pay attention to these people, you can weed them out. You know what I'm saying? And I just make sure to tell the audience who pay attention to us to just be, you know what I'm saying, be careful of who you watching on these platforms, because a lot of them do be agents too.
I agree. I say it just like this, man. I don't want you to listen to shit I gotta say, right?
Research it
I, I,
yourself.
I want I want motherfuckers to read law. You don't yeah
Mm-hmm.
everything. You know what? Fuck it. Here's what we're gonna do for the 29 people in the chat. 29 people. Everything Evergreen G just said was bullshit. It sounded captivating, right? Everything I just said was bullshit. I want you, maybe if it's captivating enough for you, go in and read it as a matter of law. See if it has some type of legitimacy to it for yourself. Then you can start to slowly see, you know what? Haitian Los might be onto something. Evergreen G might be onto something. He told me he was saying some bullshit, but you know what? Based off of what he said, I don't believe what he's saying is bullshit anymore. Or I do believe what he's saying is bullshit. Make a video, expose me, motherfucker. That's what I want you to do.
I'm trying to tell you.
I want you to expose it because I like, and it's so crazy because like, bro, real shit, dog. Like, I want to be so wrong about this information, bro. Like, I want to be so wrong. I want it to be like, you know what? Everything I just said was a lie, and like, there's actually an easier way for our people's salvation. There's actually an easier way for our people's sovereignty. There's an easier way for it, and I want to be so wrong so much, man. Like, but I'm not. Every time I like, you know what? Like, and there's some people on here that have put me on game and shit, and I'm like, oh wait, that kind of changes the narrative that I thought. And then I go in and do a little bit more research, and it's like, nope, it only solidifies what I'm talking about.
it just brings you right back to it.
It keep bringing me, and it's like I don't want to be that guy that's like, you know, I said this yesterday, you know, in regards to the political system, it's like, you know, some people, they step on a foundation that they don't even know if it's solid or not, right? They don't know that the foundation that they're about to step on is full of quicksand. They just jump in it. And then when they get stuck inside, they looking at you as the person who taps your foot on the ground to see if it was solid. They looking at you for help. And you like, nah, bro, because if I go over there to pull you out, I'm going to get sucked in too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to look at what I'm saying as what I'm saying is foundational. I want you to do the same thing I did. I want you to tap your foot down on that solid ground until you find it, and then ease your way into the step. This way, if you get sucked in, you got your balance on your other leg. You can pull yourself out and say, oh, no, I ain't a Christian. Oh, no, I'm not a Democrat. Oh, no, I'm not a Republican. Oh, no, I'm not a Libertarian. Oh, no, I'm not an Edomite. Oh, no, I'm not this. Oh, no, I'm not that. So that you can be able to pull yourself, what they say, up out of your bootstraps. Right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Tie them bitches up. Step on that solid ground by yourself. But the key is balance. Because if you step in one of these idealisms or one of these ideologies and you don't have an understanding of law, careful understanding of law, when it comes time for you to start preaching the gospel to the people, motherfuckers gonna be looking at you like, that Tariq Nasheed motherfucker is full of shit. That Dr. Umar motherfucker is full of shit. Right? These people are full of shit. And you can see it. You can see it. You can see them thinking, but they down there, the difference with these motherfuckers though, is they down there thinking, but they acting like they not. Motherfucker, you need somebody help to pull you out of that. Motherfucker, we just saw you kissing and hugging all over this Albion woman a minute ago. We just saw you. Nigga, we can see you. You know we can see you, right? And you like, nah, my beautiful black sisters with the key. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go into that. I'm just saying, I want people to do the research for themselves. I'm not pushing no ideologies on nobody, and you not either. We the chosen vessels that teach. But part of this teaching is letting people come into the information by themselves without them fucking jumping head first or foot first into some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Research for yourself. I'm gonna give you the references though.
Yeah, for real. That's why. And the major recipe we done gave you is look up free white person. And now when you and then when you look that up and you start doing your genealogy and you run across your ancestors like white, we ain't got white in our family. That don't mean that. That white, he might be from the Iberian Peninsula. He might be a black Irish. A lot of these folks, a lot of melanated immigrants came over as that because it was a status. And a lot of our ancestors who was already here, they was fighting for that status because they had a lower chattel status. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, so it's, you know, so now when you talk about that white privilege and white supremacy, that's why I always say, how big is that umbrella? You know what I'm saying? And who all gets it? Because I've seen melanated people who get off with the police too now. I just seen that, like, damn, this brother got clean, smooth out. How's that happening? You don't know what his identification card is because you ain't never seen what's in his wallet. You know what I'm saying?
What's in your wallet?
You know what I'm saying? What's in your wallet?
What's in your
But for
wallet?
real. And I'm telling you, and if you could find you an authentic African, preferably like Ethiopian or some type of North African, if you can find a cool one, ask to see his ID. A cool one to show you. That motherfucker say white on that bitch. And you gonna be like, and that's gonna blow your whole mind. That's why I be telling people, decolonize your mind, because these folks told you bullshit. These folks rewritten your history right here. Yeah. They rewrite your history, but they still going by the old stuff.
Hey, I was in I was back in New York a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I was back in New York a couple months ago, and I just so happened to be, you know, walking the streets going live, and I walked into this grocery store, right? And I seen this, this quote unquote Middle Eastern dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I said, hey man, what's your nationality? And he says, I'm American. I said, no. I said, I'm asking about your nationality. What nation you come from? And he looks at me and he's like, huh? Like, cause there's clearly like a language barrier. I said, what country do you have family lineage and bloodline come from? And when he heard bloodline, his eyes went like this. And he was like, oh, me, I'm Yemeni. I'm from Yemen. I said, oh, okay, are you black? He goes, no, I'm white. And he might have been the same complexion as your group's background on your screen right now. He said he was white. Yeah. And I might have had on that particular live, I might have had like 250 people on the live. And I was like, I said, you gonna try this out? And I asked them, and they was like, oh shit, these motherfuckers claim as white. And I said, you see, you gotta stop dealing with it as a matter of motherfucking skin color. Look at his skin. His skin is a couple hues lighter than mine.
Yeah. Which brings me to the everybody, and I laugh because, you know, because by Haiti and Dominican, we share the same island. So I laugh when people be like, you know, Dominicans, they crazy. They be like, me no black whoop. And I be laughing. I be like, no, you don't know what he's talking about. I do. A lot of Dominicans will say the same shit. Me no black. They'll be like, I'm Dominican, but deep down inside, they'll be like, I'm white. And a lot of them come over here and get listed as white. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But Haitians, we on the same island, though. We get listed as African American or black. You know what I'm saying? But we on the same island. And a lot of Dominicans have Haitian ancestry.
And if you want to be real, if you want to be quote unquote politically correct, if you were operating in that, you know, that straw man system properly, by definition, you could very well, as a Haitian, and they could very well, as Dominicans, operate under American Indian or Alaskan Native. Why don't they choose that? It's because it's something about the status of white, right? It's something about the status of white coming with that privilege, that they realize that there's a level of socioeconomical privilege that comes with it, but also historically, we know that the Dominicans were colonized by who? The Spanish, people from Europe. Yep. So they can choose that. Hell, even the motherfucking Haitians were colonized by who? The French, people from Europe. So you could very well say I'm white or American Indian and be perfectly fine with that. But the Dominicans weren't colonized by black races of Africa. The Dominicans weren't colonized by African Americans. They weren't. Who are these people that we're talking about? And we start to see that the crayon box is being dumped right on his head, and we got to deal with it in that manner.
Yup, man. Most definitely, dog. My mama took my child
Hey,
around the
but I'm
corner.
gonna drop. I'm gonna drop out. I'm gonna drop out. I'm gonna listen in for a little bit. Actually, my
Okay.
bus be ready here. I got some commerce to do. I'm gonna drop out here a little bit. But we here, man. We here. Keep
Hey,
teaching. Keep teaching. Peace and love, man.
hey, most definitely. You always welcome on, big dog.
Yeah.
Uh, All right, real quick before we get ready to wrap it up real quick. Before we get ready to wrap it up real quick, I'm gonna touch more into this onto my next live. But shout out to everybody who's on here, all the new followers, all the gifts, all the likes, and everybody who's chilling and soaking up the gems. So I'm gonna cover this in a deeper live because I actually want to read this whole book with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we can't call it the book club of higher learning if we don't actually read a whole book one time every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Instead of scheming, scamming, we're gonna read this whole thing. But I wanna touch on this real quick. So North Carolina's free people of color, 1715, 1885. Okay, here we go. Let's flip the page. That's the sources for those who be wanting it. Let's flip the page. All right. me. All right, here we go. In 1902, not long after the publications of a series of now famed works that include The Conjure Woman and Other Conjure Tales and The Wife of His Youth and other series of the Color Line, Charles Wendell Chestnut sat down to pen a lesser known article titled The Free Colored People of North Carolina for Hampton Institute Southern, born to parents who were free persons of color before the Civil War. Chestnut used his intimate knowledge of the population of his study along with other sources to describe the social positions and ancestral origins of the free colored people. He wrote that the status, not race, not classifications, all right, look, the status of these people the status of these people prior to the Civil War was obnoxious but tenable. I know I butchered those. Y'all hang in there with me. My tongue ain't rolling right today. So, in describing their origins, Chestnut mentioned mixtures between quote-unquote Negroes, with a capital N, proper noun, dodge the hijack, because we know Negro just mean black. Okay, so now, quote-unquote whites, lowercase w, adjective, and Indians. Negro, Indian, same thing. Okay, so now, he argued that many free people of color, perhaps most of them, were, as we have seen, persons of color. Perhaps most of them were, as we have seen, repetition the father of learning, persons of mixed blood. A careful search through court records, census, vital records, church minutes, wills, deeds, newspaper, pensions, files, and oral history confirms a picture of life for free people of color, remarkably similar to the one described by Chestnut more than a century ago. The disorderly American South. For over a generation, historians have depicted 18th and 19th century North Carolina and the rest of the American South as regions dominated by strict racial hierarchies, statuses. Their versions of the American South usually include three distinct groups: whites, blacks, and Indians. Okay, we got crown colors here, and then we got a misnomer with the Indian because we know that's not what they was called. But you know what I'm saying? You see how you got crown colors, then you got a proper noun right there. So whites and blacks are adjectives being right now. When it's lowercase, it's an adjective. That means that they're describing skin tone. So that means that, like I always use the example of my cousin Jimmy. My cousin Jimmy, this color, gray eyes, both his parents my color, right? If this was the 1600s back in these times, or the 1900s back in these times, or the 1800s back in these times, even though me and Jimmy are blood cousins, he would be listed as white because he's white passing, and I would be labeled, of course, as a Negro or maybe an Indian mixed blood. You know how they do with the census and shit. But me and him, blood related. Okay? So now, that's why I say you gotta decolonize your mind, because a lot of these words don't mean what they mean back then. We seen light-skinned people inside the hood that was light, bright, damn near white. You heard me? Alright, so now, these are adjectives that describing complexions, but not blood or bloodlines or nationalities, okay? These are crayon colors. And dodge the hijack when they say Negro sometimes and black sometimes. We know both of those are the same exact thing, okay? So now, 3 distinct groups: whites, blacks, and Indians. I'm willing to bet that all 3 of these groups are the same people, okay? So now, in the social hierarchy that place quote unquote whites over all other groups, yet the stories of those categorized as free people of color reveal a more disorderly American South. In the colonial and early national periods, North Carolinians and their laws privileged the free over the enslaved. Okay. Of a racial category ascribed to them, while the degree to which free people of color were legal superiors of slaves, while the degree to which free people of color were legal superiors of slaves varied across time. This book urges that the legal position of free people of color generally remained closer to that of whites than that of slaves. Orlando Patterson explained that slaves were the socially dead agents. Black's Law Dictionary, the definition of black means what? And we know the word black is synonymous with Negro. So now we know now that it's a status and it's not a race. You feel me? Okay, let's keep it going. Socially dead black, okay? Agents of their masters with no legally recognized connection to kin or ancestors. Big drop right there. Historians have repeatedly shown that slaves in every society developed strong social bonds, but none of those relations were legally binding. Okay, major drop right there. In contrast, North Carolina law always allowed free people of color like whites. Oh, hold on. Free people of color like whites. You could play that both ways. I'm trying to tell you. You gotta, yeah. But legal personhood and a recognized connection to kin. So you can't even be recognized with your kin. Like I just said, me and Jimmy here from the same bloodline, you did. He gets his status as white. I get my status as Negro. I cannot say that that's my cousin. Can't do that. You feel me? Now, Robert E. Lee and his colored brother, they couldn't do that. He couldn't say, "Oh, that's my brother right there." They couldn't do it. You feel me? All right. So now, they couldn't recognize it. So now, but North Carolina law always allowed free people of color like whites legal personhood and recognized connection to kin. Even during the 1850s to 1860s, when legal limitations were greatest, free people of color retained numerous privileges unavailable to enslaved persons, including the rights to own property. If you ever did your census record and all your people got farmland and they owned shit back then, 2 things. You didn't come from slaves. And 2, your people was free people of color, which means that 9 times out of 10, you an American Indian. Let's keep it going. So now, let's keep it going. So now, The numerous privileges unavailable to enslaved persons, including the rights to own property across the courts and the right to keep their wages and the freedom to leave the state without permission. Free people of color from the colonial period through Reconstruction, listen, Reconstruction, face many social, economic, and legal challenges. Prejudice, poverty, and violence were among their various experiences. Yet these obstacles never condemned them to a position close to slave status. The ability to own real and personal property, seek restitution in the courts, and maintain legally recognized bonds to family distinguish even the poorest free person of color from the most fortunate slave. At any moment, the circumstances of any enslaved person could change forever with the death of a master. At any moment, the circumstances of an enslaved person could change forever with the death of a master. So that means, check this out. An enslaved person can become a free person of color. It ain't nothing but a status. So you can have an enslaved American Indian who couldn't own property, but you can have this free American Indian who could own property. This free American Indian will go back and purchase their family and give them their freedom to now become a free person of color. But on document, when the U.S. Marshals and Census still come to the house, they still had to go down as slave. You feel me? So on certain documents, they went down as slave, but they were still free because they was family and the head of household. It's a whole thing. That's why you gotta do your genealogy. It breaks it down. So you know what I'm saying? Like when I did mine, and one of my great grandmamas came up as a domestic servant. And I was like, damn, domestic servant, who the fuck owned her? Her husband. She was the domestic servant to him because he bought her freedom, but on paper, she still had to be listed as that regardless. You know what I'm saying? All right, so dodge the hijack when they be like, when a lot of these Native Americans on this platform be like, we adopted a lot of you guys. No, the fuck y'all didn't. Our people bought us our freedom and they kept the family together. Shout out to Django, because it was like that. It was just on a different scale. So now they seek restitution in the courts. This is what you still seeking to this day, right? All right, peep game. And maintain legal recognized bonds to family distinguish even the poorest free person of color from the most fortunate slaves. At any moment, the circumstances of an enslaved person could change forever with the death of a master, a collection of debt, or a master's decision to sell an enslaved person away from all things familiar. Many enslaved people never met such changes in circumstances, but the possibility that lingered over them made their position distinct in comparison to free persons. North Carolinians attempt to categorize themselves into quote unquote races, into races in imbued with specific legal and social privileges, natural abilities, and values, always conflicted with their efforts to understand one another in terms of gender, class, reputation, kinship, and occupation. The internal struggle prevented them from agreeing about the proper social relations between those categorized as white and those classified as free people of color. Across the time, radical political figures emerged who preached that free people of color and slaves were part of a degraded race naturally beneath all quote-unquote whites. Yet their ideology fully captured the minds of only some people. Following Chief Justice Robert B. Taney pronounced in the Dred Scott decision that people of color were not citizens. Black's Law Dictionary. Okay? What they say? People of color were not citizens. People of color. Girl, hold on. You know what you did. You gotta go holler at grandmama about that one. Go on, holler about. Hold on. Mm-mm. You know what you did, girl. Go on, take your chair. Go on, holler at grandmama. Tell grandmama to smell you. Girl, passing gas and waving it in my face, boy. If she ain't my twin. But, man. So, they said persons of color was not citizens, okay? So, I don't know about anybody else's family tree, but on mine's, hold on. They said people of color were not citizens, right? So when you do your genealogy and you learn that your ancestors, for once, had a tribe. Listen to the census. On the census, your ancestors never got put down as Indian or American Indian. They got put down by their tribe because your tribe is your nationality. That's one thing they don't do. That's why you got to find your tribe. You know what I'm saying? But my ancestor is a Cherokee. Her mama was a Cherokee. She got listed as colored. In parentheses, you see black. So black and colored are synonymous. So when they say people of color were not citizens, they talking about the Aborigines of these lands. You know what I'm saying? And this is Florida, right? And what have we learned about the Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Mississippi, you know what I'm saying, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Tennessee. What have we learned about that? All of those places was one big ass territory. So when you hear them say North Carolina, think South Carolina as well, because back in these times they haven't divided those two. Those are still one landmass, and those landmass is part of La Florida, aka Tamari. You feel me? Okay, so yeah, it's like that. And my ancestor was born what 1927, right? Jim Crow, Melville Herskovitz, Walter Plecker, reclassification. Walter Plecker. See, her mother, which was a Cherokee, she was before Walter Plecker. So that's why she still had Cherokee on hers. But Idella Pritchett is during the times of Walter Plecker in the Racial Integrity Act. So this is why she's colored and black now. In 1920s, this is Jim Crow. This is Reconstruction. This is Woodrow Wilson. This is Melville Herskovitz. This is Walter Plecker. You know what I'm saying? This is Charles Darwin eugenics. This is Margaret Sanger. This is all of these people. The same people that overthrew you. Because we are our ancestors. So the same people that overthrew you changed you. Okay? So they said people of color were not citizens. All right. Said right. He dropped the dime on the baby. He doing the Charleston Charleston White. Hey, what y'all talking about? What's happening? Oh. Where can I get the book? Archives.org. Hop on Google, type in the name of the book, and put archives.org after the title. It'll pull it straight up and download the PDF. Unless you want to pay $900 for the hardback book on Amazon, you can do that too, but PDF. Seems like it's another form of pronouns. Yup. I did horrible in grammar. Made a book club. What up, Los? What's happening, Power Gen? At the grind right now. On break, right, man. I clock in tonight. I'm on the night shift, man. Yeah, I'm on the night shift tonight, boy. Sitting at the fan. She crop dust him. Oh, shit. I'm dead. All right. All right, I'm gonna drop this last page and I'm gonna save the rest for later on. I'm about to get back in here and get back in father mode. I just had to drop this live, you know what I'm saying? Drop some gems for y'all and get another content because I got like 2 videos I'm about to upload on YouTube. So I'm just trying to get my videos and everything up, get the gems up, you know, keep the enlightenment going because next week I am going live on YouTube, but till then I'm just gonna be posting lives on YouTube till then. So the lives that y'all missed. But let's go ahead and get into it real quick. So now, excuse me. So Carolina as a whole rejected the opportunity to adopt the radical pro-slavery point of view and instead continued to argue that free people of color were citizens of the state. Okay. So who is trying to not make you a citizen of the state? The feds. While Carolina state were still arguing that free people of color were citizens of the state, okay? American Indian, Aborigines, all right? So for many North Carolinians, radical pro-slavery beliefs failed to fulfill their practical needs in certain situations to understand their neighbors outside of the racialized worldview. Unlike their radical counterparts, they could still be advocates for slavery, but not use free people of color as scapegoats for their social ills. And their bonds people agitations. North Carolinians view racial categorization as important only in certain contexts. Discrimination based on racial categorization was situational. As a result, for most of the period in which free people of color operated as a category, free men of color who could vote until 1835. That's because you held office. You feel me? Your voting privileges hasn't been taken until Reconstruction era. Okay. Listen. 35 had more political rights than white women did. In a society that privileged the wealthy over the poor, perpetuated free people of color had access to exclusive social networks and for a short period additional political privilege such as the right to vote for senators, which neither women nor propertyless white men, the same folks that overthrew your ass in 1898, okay, so could access. Skilled free people of color found riches in a labor short economy and even negotiated with their alleged social superiors. Throughout the period in which slavery existed in North Carolina, free people of color carved out spaces to raise their families, making a living and sometime enjoying life luxuries. They built a variety of social networks with neighborhoods, free and enslaved whites and of color. They built a variety of social networks with neighbors, free and enslaved whites and of color. Free people of color never made up a segregated racial community of their own, nor did they form a wide alliance with enslaved people. Sometimes the political or social objectives of free people of color and enslaved persons intersect, just as the goals of whites and free people of color overlapped. In the same environment in which some free people of color thrived, others found conditions troubling and occasionally even threatening. Occasionally. Okay? The competition of ideas about the position of free people of color among white North Carolinians created opportunities for certain individuals and problems for others. Of course, many free persons of colors experienced both ups and downs, although they were not enslaved. Some free people of color found life in North Carolina difficult. Okay? Sporadic violence committed by white vigilantes, discriminatory laws, and whites' willingness to enforce those edicts, those whites perpetuate. Well, my tongue ain't rolling. Y'all see it, hopefully. Treatment. They preferred treatment of other whites, and maybe most importantly, poverty and exploitations had deep effects on free people of color. North Carolina, like so many other parts of British North America. I will be getting this book. Yeah, go ahead. North Carolina. The Free People of North Carolina, 1715 to 1885. Hopefully people get it more now. Hopefully. So much for the breakdown. Most definitely. Right. He dropped the dime on the bed. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. I'm dead. So, and like me and Evergreen said earlier in live, since we know the definition of white and free whites and stuff like that, plug it in. And it makes sense who all was involved. Because it wasn't just your Billy Bob and your Karen. It was your Jet Li. You know what I'm saying? It was your Habibi. It was all of them niggas. It was your African. You feel me? Those people that got the white statuses under their names. These are the whites that they're talking about. It ain't just your next door neighbor. It's your white Hispanics as well. You know what I'm saying? White is a status. You know what I'm saying? White is a status. Okay? It's a status. Decolorize your mind and decolonize your mind. Because it's not all black and white when they talk about black and white. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Alright. So now, because you had a lot of this shit going on back in the day. You feel me? You had a lot of this shit going on. Your runaways. You had a lot of this going on. This is what it would look like. This is, even though it's a colored cartoon picture, but this is exactly the image that this is what it looks like. Black Irish, American Indian. Some Black Irish went under as white. Some went down as mulatto. Some American Indians went down as white. Some went down as Negroes. Some went down as mulattoes. You know what I'm saying? In the grand scheme of things, people of color. So now when you talk about runaways, they don't teach you about the melanated Irish that was runaways who joined the Seminoles. They don't teach you about the, you know what I'm saying? They don't teach you about the Black Dutch. None of this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And just off of this picture alone, my daughter's rushing me. I'm about to hurry up. But just off this picture alone, a lot of us have this inside our DNA. Like me, I have Black Irish and I have American Indian. So that must mean somewhere down the line they was running the fuck away together and they banded together. Jamaica's like that too. That's why a lot of Jamaicans got green eyes and a lot of them still recognize their Tiano Arawic heritage. So 90% of us, which is a high number, we are mixed descents. We are other. If you want to fill out your census and your job applications and shit like that, stop checking Black and African American because you're not. They tell you you're African descent. But you got all these different nationalities that make you up. You got the Black Irish, you got the American Indian. Some of us got, you know what I'm saying, the Puertorians and the Spaniards and the Portuguese and the Iberian Peninsula and the Moors and something like we are mixed. We are hybrids. So to put us in the category of African descent, you guys are black, and that's it. And keep that is asinine. That is ass a 10, and that is ass a 12 assumption. And it's an assumption because nobody's coming to your house personally and looking at your family tree. You feel me? Now you feeling out. See, now the indoctrination is so deep that they ain't even got to come to your house and do the census for themselves. You're going to fill it out yourself. You're going to mark black automatically. Go boop, because the indoctrination is kicked in. It's on automatic pilot. They ain't got to do shit no more. You're going to do it to yourself now. That's what they wanted because they got other shit to do. Feel me? So we keeping this shit going. We keeping racism going. We keeping colonization going. We keeping colorization going. We keeping these misnomers going. We keeping this shit going. They not doing this shit no more. All they did is print a piece of paper, send it to your house, or you go to a job, they put a piece of paper in front of you. They don't touch that shit. You touch that shit. Everything is on you. And what you gonna do for all of us 90s babies? For half of our 30 years, we've been marking black, African American, not knowing. My grandmama been told me I was an American Indian, and my indoctrinated ass back then who was programming sleep and shit, still marking black and African American though. Knowing my grandmama just told me, baby, you Blackfoot. Knowing my daddy just told me, boy, you Black Irish and Tiana Erwick. You know what I'm saying? So now, with my child, baby, when you start school, mark other or don't mark shit at all. Tell them to come holler at me. When you go fill out your job application, baby, don't mark shit. Because people don't know that shit's optional. You don't have to mark your race. Don't mark shit. Or mark other. Because you won't be lying. You are. And when you get your census, and you get that line that say other, and you can fill it in, fill that bitch in. Leave the documentation for future generations when they pull this shit up. Hold on, then why is he saying this then? Let me dig into it. Okay? Mark that other. Or you can mark American Indian. It's on there too. Don't be ashamed to mark that. If your grandmama told you that you're an American Indian, you did your census and bitch say American Indian, you should not be checking black or African American no more. You should be marking American Indian and other. That's what I did on my census. I checked American Indian. I checked other. I filled it in. Blackfoot, Gullah Geechee, Tiano, Erwick, Black Irish nigga, and I sent that bitch in. Ain't nobody knock on my door yet. Cause they know who the fuck you are. Nigga ain't knock on my door yet. They probably got another one like, damn. We got another one who to figure this shit out. He's going, hey, you gonna have to recognize that. Gonna put it in there. Got to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a huge step. But it's a step into the right direction. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to do no giant ass leap. You know, as long as you making a step into the right direction, then you doing right. You feel me? Stop marking that black shit, man. You ain't no slave. You ain't no Negro. And this ain't the fucking 1800s no more. You feel me? Mark other or leave that shit blank. Period. Because that census, for one, census come from censored. Okay? Census come from censored. So if you're filling out a census, you're pretty much filling out to be censored. You know what I'm saying? It's a play on words. These people ain't smart, man. These people not smart. They're clever, which are different. You ain't got to be a genius to outsmart people. You just got to know how the mind work a little bit, and you can flip it. But I done seen some of the slowest people manipulate some of the smartest folks in the world now. Still going on to this day. You did. But, you know, status correction, most definitely, D. What's that in 51? DJ Khaled in another where's the box labeled higher being? Hey, check other and put higher being in that motherfucker. Or we all should just check other and start putting 9 ether being on that. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah. So yeah, I put American Indian in white. There you go, D. For real. I always put other, yup. Y'all better start under how serious it is. It's very serious. Oh, you right. Mm-hmm. And just a quick announcement, y'all, man. Look, I'm still inside the tweaking stages, but hey, got merch coming soon. Signs up for the Conscious Mind hoodies. You feel me? Yes, I put it on the back. I got some stuff in the front too. But if you proud of it, you proud of your heritage, man. Rock that bitch. I'm ordering me one once I get it done, and I'm rocking that motherfucker. And when people want to stop me, I'm like, bro, what's that shit on your back, bro? What you mean, signs are for the conscious mind? What's all this stuff? No, stare at it, dog. Really grasp it. Signs are for the conscious mind. Look at the signs. If your mind is conscious, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? But that also give you a reason to drop gems on people, because they're going to be wanting to know. What the fuck you mean by the signs are for the conscious mind and see that shit on the back? Then that's your opportunity to hit their ass with some gems real quick. Not a lot, but you want to bring them to the water real quick, and they decide if they want to drink. But you know, got hoodies coming in. It's getting cold. Got blankets, coffee mugs, phone cases, hoodies, shirts, socks, like all type of stuff coming in with the merch. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, majority of the profits that's coming from merch, donations, and everything like that, man. Look, it's going in a jar, it's being saved, and I promise y'all, bro, we buying some land, my nigga. We all getting some land, and we gonna build on that bitch. I don't even care if we turn the land into a whole farming yard for us. We gonna do something with this land, and I'm putting it inside the kid's name. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to use my influence and the mind, the muscle, the hustle, just to try to get us something. You feel me? Because me personally, I don't believe that the end of the world is coming no time. I mean, we got till 2030, probably 2040 at most. This is the age of Aquarius. The age is a long ass time now. I ain't gonna say a long ass time, but that motherfucker's a stretch. You know what I'm saying? Before anything that we are wanting to happen, 2030 got to happen first. These folks got to become the minority first. These are steps to it. They got to be the minority. They just now becoming extinct. So now the next step is for them to become the minority. And then when all that shit happen, then that's where everything that you done read about start coming into fruition. But until then, in these next 20 to 30 years that we got ahead of us, and it's long, and it's dark, and it's grueling, and I'm not here fear mongering, I'm bringing you to awareness. We might as well play the game to win as much as possible. I'd rather for us to buy land than Bill Gates to buy land, man. Come on. We gotta fight. We gotta counter this shit. We got to. Okay? By all means necessary. Alright? And the old world is just the old way of doing things, and the old people who's in charge is getting ushered out, and who was last will now be first once again. So you might as well start off being first on the right foot, okay? So now, this is the plan, this is the goal. I ain't gonna get too deep into the plan, but I'm just letting y'all know where the head at right now. So all donations, all profits, all support, anybody who's trying to join and do all this, man, let me know. You know, try to hit y'all inside my comments, my inbox or whatever, and we're gonna link up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna swap numbers, we're gonna link up, we're gonna do something. But It's time to get the land back. It's time to get the resources back. And if we're gonna do it, we're gonna play the game to win. Then just go all out. Then, okay. Those who with us, cool. Those who not, cool. May peace be upon them. You feel me? But I know what we gotta do, and trying to do my part. But one man can't do it on his own. It takes a tribe of us because we lost everything as a tribe, and we gonna get everything back as a tribe. No matter how they want it, we coming full speed with it. You did? No matter how, we coming full speed with it. There's no more lacking, no more being lazy, no more none of that bullshit. We got all the knowledge, we got the books, nigga. We can read on the go now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta sit down and do research no more. Nigga, we can research on the go now. We got enough of that knowledge. We know where the fuck we going, we know where we heading. We coming full speed at they fucking necks, man. Trust me. Alright? Cause they don't run shit. You do. You, who's watching this, you run shit. You the greatest resource. You worth more than diamonds. You are an electrical being. Okay? You have a soul. You have an ore. You have ancestral connections. You are connected to the Most High, the universe, the electromagnetic earth, Mother Gaia, the sun, the trees, the water, the sun, the animals. You are connected. This is your shit, man. So let's move accordingly. Let's move accordingly, man. That's my only message for today. I hope it made sense. I hope everybody took some gems. I hope everybody, you know what I'm saying, learned something. We're going to dig more into that North Carolina Free Persons color book on my next live. So if y'all want to go ahead and get the archives to go ahead and read up on giving y'all homework, go ahead and read up because we taking off on my next live. All right. And then sometime next week, probably on my off day, we will be going live on YouTube. So everybody tune in to the YouTube Signs for the Conscious Mind. Hold on. So tune into the live. Tune into the YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. Signs for the Conscious Mind. We up. We're gonna be going live on there. We're gonna be going live a lot more on there too. So yeah. And all my OGs who be dropping gems. Naturalism Yahweh, 51 Terry, anybody who got gems and everything like that, come to the YouTube, subscribe. So when we start going live, y'all are in there. And I can start sending people to y'all too. And we just really start growing as a community. You feel me? I could bring people on there and all that type of stuff drop, you know what I'm saying? We doing this. You feel me? So yeah, y'all come over. Jump in, join in, chime in. Everybody. Okay? So now, with that being said, I'm gonna let y'all finish enjoying the rest of y'all day. Let me go in here because my daughter looking at me crazy like she's ready to box. And I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. So, with that being said, if anybody want to donate to anything of the channel, anything of the such, Cash App's money sign King Low 706. It's the Cash App. Any type of donations is appreciated and grateful, and it goes to the building of our tribe and our nation. So, with that being said. Vibrate high, peace, prosperity, abundance, gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciativeness. Practice serenity, control what you can control, let go of what you can't control, and have the wisdom to know the difference so you can balance your past life, present life, and your future life. And teach the kids everything you didn't learn because the kids is the future. The change starts with them, but it also begins with you because you hold the knowledge and the key for them. With that being said, y'all holler at the YouTube Signs for the Conscious Mind. I'ma holler at y'all, man. Y'all be easy. Stay dangerous.
She get bang, mama. She get big. Yeah. They starting to use for some of the clothes on that I bought. I'm starting to see some of the little pieces. Yeah, it do make you feel good. But she got plenty of clothes. One thing she got is plenty of clothes and plenty of shoes. She got shoes to go with every outfit.